Greg,
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I have on the call with me a client of mine, Tracy. She
Mhm.
wants to talk a little bit about the situation she's in.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, how are you, Tracy?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good, thank you.
Well, what can I do for you?
Okay, I am a 46-year-old healthy female with a great life,
Mhm.
but I've had chronic, unrelenting, unyielding back pain since the age of 15. It has gotten worse in the past 9 or 10 years. I have been to many medical doctors who have been unable to find a reason or a way to help the pain.
So we've done like X-rays,
Oh,
MRI, things like
I've
that.
had a fusion, I've had a discectomy, I've had multiple. Um, I've also been to just about every alternative modality available without a change to the pain. At this point, I'm open to anything that will relieve the pain or otherwise.
And how did the pain start?
Literally at 15, I was a lifeguard, and when I would stand up, my back would start to ache.
Okay. And whereabout is the pain?
The low back.
The
The
low
muscle.
back, but like, does it go across? Does it go
Yes.
up and down?
Nope, it's across, it's muscular, it doesn't radiate. It's across the band of the low back, the whole band.
Across like side to side.
Yeah, yes, correct.
And is it just like right above the hip bones, or does it go a little bit higher?
Recently it's kind of crept up, but that's the corpus was the low back pain was in the beginning and when I was 15.
Okay. And there was never any like accident, or even if it was years earlier, there was never any sort of issue where there's an injury to the area or car accident, anything like that?
I mean, I fell off a basketball hoop when I was probably 10, but I don't know that that was the reason. I mean, I'm 46, so that's the only thing I can ever think that would be the issue.
And when you fell off the basketball hoop, how did you land?
On my
On your
tailbone.
butt? On your tailbone. Okay, and that's probably not it either. I agree with you. So, do you have any pain across your mid back?
Yes. That's
Okay.
it's crept up. It
So,
didn't start that way, but yes.
okay, it didn't start that way. So, I mean, it's a weird issue that can happen, and the reason why it's hard to treat sometimes is that it's actually not the back. It's there is these two big like muscles that run down the abdomen, and they're referred to as the rectus abdominis.
Yes.
And when they have two little trigger points like down kind of like right above the pubic bone, and
Yeah.
then so that's the low back pain across like side to side, and then you have two that are like right on each side below the rib cage. And I can send you a picture. We'll post this picture right now so that you can see it, and you can also see the kind of the pain pattern. But what happens is the trigger points are there, but they cause the back pain. And it's a weird thing because it's a trigger point, and trigger points, like where the problem is not where the pain is being felt. And
Right.
so a lot of times whenever you see back pain, when it's more like the back muscles, you usually see it's like more up and down, or it's very localized into the spinal area. But here, we're going to post it here in the chat so you can see it. Here, this is the abdominal muscles, and they cause the back pain, but it's still neurological, but it's more of what they would call a referred pain, which is different than radiating, right? Referred pain is there's a dysfunction, but it's causing a reaction somewhere else. And in this is you basically, I mean, you could still do things to treat the back to calm it down, but really the treatment has to happen on the abdomen. And you can put things that are, again, kind of like what I was talking with the person prior, Sahajananda, with the trigger point blend. And for this, you would use some antispasmodics potentially. And you would actually apply them to your abdomen, like from the bottom of your ribs down to the pubic bone, like especially down like the center, like this area. It's kind of a narrow muscle that runs down from top to bottom. And so, did you get the picture?
Yeah.
So she's posting it, and those two X's, like there's one up high and one down low. Those
Yes.
are the areas that are the trigger points themselves, and that need to be treated. And then the red lines on the back are the potential pain patterns. And so with this, you know, you can try to do things to calm down on the backside, but really it's the front side that's going to calm it down. And so, did you do sports or something in high school or?
I was a dancer, but I've also had 3 pregnancies.
Okay. But like when it first came on, you were like doing dancing
I was
or?
a dancer. Yeah, I was a dancer, but not a good one.
Okay. And were you doing like a lot of sit-ups or anything?
No,
or
I really wasn't.
you weren't? I mean, it can happen for all kinds of reasons, but given that age, I mean, it's a little odd that it happens at that age, but it can happen at any time. And so I would go through and I would treat this. And, you know, like you can see the picture, you can take in and kind of rub where those X's are to try to unwind it. But I would put something on it that's like ginger or that trigger point blend or some marjoram, some basil. Ginger works really well for trigger points. So does cedar. You could put in a little lotion and put a couple drops and you can rub it in on that area. But Robert can also do a little bit of healing where he will go through and use the energy work to hit those X's and unwind it on both those ways. And then it's so chronic that, I mean, it can cause back instability. It can cause, I mean, that would also throw the diaphragm off. That would increase the muscular tension and the little muscles that run up and down the spine, the multifidi. So that would start compromising like discs and things like that.
Yes.
And so, I mean, it definitely could have turned into this like really complicated situation, but the pain that you're describing, this would be the first thing that I would go to is just treat the rectus abdominis and that whole abdomen area. And, you know, in the days that I used to do osteopathic stuff, I mean, we'd use our fingers and go like up under the rib cage in the areas and like try to release the diaphragm. But in doing that in and around the where the rectus abdominis is, it's a way to release that as well. And that it's been there for so long, it's definitely going to have like secondary issues with it being present there. But it sounds like you guys are already like tapping into all those things. So you really need to kind of find more of the root kind of cause. And if you think about like the back is stabilized by not just the back muscles, but also the abdominal muscles.
Right.
And so it's an area that often gets overlooked with like back issues. And I would thoroughly treat this before I would move on from it. You know, if I was your therapist, this would be, you've already done a whole bunch of other things. So I mean, I would go really hard and deep on this abdominal muscle.
Okay. Great. Robert, anything else?
Yeah, Robert, I would say like treat her pretty solid for a couple of weeks. Use like things that are antispasmodic. Like I kind of like ginger a little bit more here than marjoram or basil. They would work, but either trigger point blend or ginger by itself, and then just rub it, you know, have a rub into the whole abdominal area. And then on the trigger point areas, do like healing using, sweep those areas with green and electric violet. Just keep sweeping them quite substantially. You could actually even sweep it a little red, like green, then red, then electric violet. And it should start producing some relief. You know, the issue is going to be that it's been there for so long that it's developed secondary trigger point activity, you know, in different parts of the spinal muscles and things, but that she's already had some surgical procedures and things like that. I would just go really hard on the abdominal area and then revisit the back thing in like a couple of weeks.
Does it matter if I've
Okay.
had a hysterectomy?
No, wouldn't matter.
Okay,
No.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Reagan. I have another one too.
Sure, sure.